Hello everyone, today I am going to teach you how we can create login and register API using our Node.js project. Okay, as you know that we have already created our Node.js project. So now I am going to open that project. Okay, so inside web app we have our backend project. So we will use this project. Okay, and here now I am going to create login and register API. Previously, we have added some dependencies like body parcel, .env, express, mongoose, and nodemon. Okay. Now, firstly, I am going to create some folder structures. Okay. So I have created some folders like controller, middleware, model, and route. Inside controller, we will put all the controllers. Okay. And model inside model, we will put all the models, and route. We will create all the routes. Okay. Firstly, I am going to create model. Okay, so the model will be user model. Firstly, we'll have to import mongoose here, and now we need to create the user schema which we want to define into our database. And here we will have to use our all variables. Okay, like name, email, password, image, which we want to kept. Okay, like name. Then we have to define type here. Then type I'm going to define as string, and then this will be default. Similarly, we will create for email. Similarly, for password, we'll create. Okay, and here I'm not going to define as default. Okay, I'll use required true because this will be compulsory to enter. And then here, and I have created two more variables: is mobile verified and is email verified. Okay, and we can add more variables like token and date. Okay, and that will be required. And after created our user schema, we need to export this schema. So here we will use module.exports equals to mongoose mongoose.model, and inside model we need to define two variables. First one will be the table name which we want to use into the database, and second will be the user schema which we have already created here, this user schema. Okay, so our model class is created. Now I'm going to create our controller from here. So controller name will be user controller.js, and here firstly I'm going to create register API. Okay, so here, and this will be the type of async, and here we need to define two parameters. One will be the request and one will be the response. Firstly I'm going to check whether it is working or not. So here response dot send, and I have printed some string. Okay, and here we will have to export this register. So our controller is also ready. Now I'm going to write our route. Okay, user route, we will create user route. Okay, here, so user route dot js, and we will have to here import express first, and then require, and then express, and here we will use user underscore route, and then we will pass this express. So with the help of user route we can achieve all the functionalities of express from here. Okay, then here we will use body parser for get and post. So just import this body parser. So body parser, then require body parser, and then here we will use this user route, and then user route dot use, and then we will use this body parser dot json. Again we will use user route dot use, and then here we will use body parser dot url encoded, and inside this we will use extended, it will be true. So our body parser is also completed. Now I'm going to import this user controller which we have recently created. So here we will use controller. So const user controller equals to, then we will set path of that user controller. So inside controller we have user controller. Okay, so our user controller is also created. Now I'm going to set, now I'm going to call this all functions which is written inside this user controller, like register, login, we will create. Okay, so firstly I'm going to call this register function, and we will see how it is responding, whether it is working or not. So here we will use user route here dot. Now we can use get and post here. Okay, so firstly I'm going to check, so I'm using get, but it will be post. Okay, so first will be the register, and then second parameter we will have to pass this function name which we want to call. So with the help of this controller we will call that function. So user controller user controller dot register. Okay, and now I'm going to export this. Now I'm going to export this user route. Okay, and one more thing remaining. So firstly I'm going to uh, import this route. Okay, inside index.js. So here in the API section inside index.js I'm going to define all the routes. So firstly import that route. So we have a route of user route, so here we will use user route, and then import this inside route, and then we have user route, and with the help of this app express app dot use, and inside use so I'm going to use API after the main URL, and then we will use this URL registered to achieve this method. Okay, so here in the second parameter I'll use user route. Okay, now I think this is ready. Now I'm going to run this server. So write npm start in your terminal, then it will start. You can see our server is running on 3000 port. So now I'm going to open my browser, and here write local 3000. Okay, localhost 3000, and after this main URL we will have to write this slash API. Okay, so just write slash API. Then you can see we are not getting any type of URL. So after API we need to define slash register. Okay, so we will get this response hello. Then here write register, then you can see we are getting hello, means this URL is working. Now we can write the code to save user data. Okay, and this is our MongoDB which we have created in previous video, you can see. Okay, so this is the dashboard. We will have to go inside browse collection. From here you can see no data available inside collections. Okay, I'm going to use this inside postman. So open postman and write this here. Not going to use this browser. Okay, same thing I am getting hello. Okay, when we are hitting this API, and this is the method of get. So I'm going to change this method. So go inside user route, and then here just change with post, and in the user controller so you can see these are the variables which we want to save into our database. So go inside user controller, and here we will use, firstly I am going to import our model which we have created. Okay, so here we will use const, and then user model, then require, and then import this model. So inside model we have user model, and then now I'm going to write the code inside register function. So inside register function we will use try catch block. Inside catch block we will use response dot status, and if the query will execute inside catch, then we will use status code as 400, and then we will send some data, okay, like success will be false, and then message will be like something went wrong. And inside try block, we are going to save the data, okay. So here we will use const user, and then inside model a required thing is date created and mobile, okay. So only I'm going to send this mobile and mobile, okay. So inside user controller we will get this mobile from this request, we will send this from our postman, okay. Then here we will use const mobile equals to request dot mobile, and inside user, here we will use new user model which we have recently imported, okay. And here we will use mobile, and inside this mobile we will pass this mobile, okay. We can write another name so it won't conflict, okay. So this is the data. Now I'm going to save this data into the database. So here, and one more thing, we need to use date created. So in the user model we have date created that is required, so we need to pass this, otherwise it will throw error. So pass this date create, and here we will use dot date dot toString, and now I am going to use const user data, and then here we will use await, because here I am going to execute API. So user dot save this user, okay. And if this will save, okay, then we will send status 200, and the success will be true, and then message will be user added successfully. And we will also pass data here, okay. So the data will be this user data. Similarly, just copy this, and inside else condition we will use this, and the success will be false, and here we will use user addition failed and the user data, okay. So we have successfully created our register API. Now I'm going to check this API. So we need to pass this mobile only, okay. So here this will be post method, and we need to pass mobile parameter from here. So this will be the type of raw data, and here this will be the JSON, and here mobile, write any number, mobile number from here, and you can see no data here. Now I'm going to send this. So you can see we get user added successfully and success true, and we have also received this data. Okay, and now I'm going to refresh this MongoDB. Now you can see we have created successfully one database, that is Ubola, and inside Ubola we have the data. We have table, that is the name users. So here you can see inside model we have user model. So this is the table name users, and inside users table we have one data. Okay, we have one user data, but where is the mobile field? I think some issue is there, so need to check. I'm going to check. Okay, mobile required true. Actually I forgot to add body here after request, so write request.body.mobile and then save this. And now I'm going to hit this again. Firstly I'm going to remove this previous data from our MongoDB, so just delete this. Okay, now you can see 0 results are there. Now I'm going to hit this again. Here you can see one user added successfully. Now I am going to check this whether it is successfully added into our database or not. Okay, and here you can see mobile data is also available. Okay, in the response. Now I'm going to check inside database. So in database also you can see mobile data is also available, and we have successfully added our one user data. Now I'm going to create login API, but before this I'm going to create the restriction on this API to create same user again. Okay, so here we need to check the user before save this user. Okay, so here we will use const check user equals to user model dot find one, and then here we need to pass the parameter with which pick parameter we want to compare. Okay, so the parameter will be mobile and with user mobile. Okay, this is the database mobile, and this user mobile we are getting from user. Okay, so with the help of this we will check whether the user is available into the database or not. Here we will use not and just cut this from here and just paste inside this check user, and after this if we will use else, and here we need to use this one more status 200, and then success will be false, user already added. Okay, now I'm going to check this from here again. Just send this. So you can see we have success false and message is something went wrong. I think this is in catch block. Okay, check user model find one mobile. Now I'm going to delete this database data. Okay, actually I forgot to add await, so we are getting error. Okay, so here we need to define await. Okay, now I'm going to check this application again. You can see zero results here. Now I'm going to send this again, so you can see user added successfully. Now I'm going to refresh this. Here you can see one user added successfully with mobile number, this mobile number. Now I'm going to hit this same user again, send this again. So you can see we are still getting this success false and message something went wrong. Now I'm going to console this. Let's send again. Just refresh this page to check this data. Here I am going to pass this error. Okay, so we will get the exact error. Now I'm going to send this again. We are getting blank message, so I'm going to keep this as something went wrong. Okay, now here what we can do. So now I'm going to show this error again. Actually I forgot to write message after this error. Now I'm going to save this and now I'm going to hit this again, so we will get the exact error. So the error is user data is not defined, so we need to remove this user data from else condition. And now I'm going to hit this again. Okay, so we will get the exact error, user already exists. And now I'm here. Now here in the MongoDB I'm going to remove the previous user, and then I'm going to check whether it is working or not. So I'm going to delete this user, just delete this. Okay, and after deleting this, now I'm going to hit this API again. Okay, so just send this. So you can see user added successfully and one user data added. Okay, if the user is already available with the same mobile number, and if you are going to add the same user, then it will throw error. Okay, so same user, I'm going to hit this again. So you can see we are getting this user already added message. So the API is working fine. Okay, now I'm going to create login API. So here just copy this register method from here and then paste here, change the name, and now I'm going to export this also. And in the user route, just go inside user route, and here I'm going to create one more route for login. Okay, and okay, and in the user controller, okay, and in the user controller I am going to, I'm not going to save the data. Okay, here just change this success to true and user logged in successfully if user available, and it is not available then invalid user. Okay, so I've created one login method also. Now I'm going to check this method whether it is working or not. So I'm going to change this with login and then just send this. So user logged in successfully. If I'm going to write any another number and then send this, then you can see message is different like invalid user. Okay, so this API is also working, invalid user. Okay, so that's all for this video. Thank you for watching this video.